Кога животот ќе ви приреди несреќа, истовремено светот ви се превртува за 180 степени, водејќи ве во сосема непознат правец. Телевизија 24 имаше ретка можност преку ексклузивно интервју да го запознае лордот Крис Холмс од Велика Британија, кому животот му се свртел за 360 степени. Кристофер Холмс, лорд Холмс од Ричмонд, член на редот на Британската империја, е роден на 15 октомври 1971 година. Тој е поранешен британски пливач кој има освоено вкупно 9 златни, 5 сребрени и 1 бронзен медал на параолимписките игри. Лордот Холмс ја представувал Велика Британија на 4 параолимписки игри во периодот помеѓу 1988 и 2000 година и е единствениот британски параолимписки пливач кој освоил 6 златни медали на една олимпијада, на таа во Барселона. Откако се пензионирал од пливањето, работел како новинар, но и како правен застапник. Тој бил и директор на параолимписката интеграција при Олимписките игри во Лондон, одговорен за организацијата на параолимписките игри во британската престолнина за 2012 година.
9 golds, 5 silvers, 1 bronze. I won't ask questions about sports because my viewers will laugh at me because they know that I'm a tabula rasa when it comes to sports. I mean, you can say everything and I will believe in anything because I know nothing about sports. But still, you retired from competitive swimming and you worked briefly as a journalist.
Yes.
Why journalism? I mean, it's not that much connected to swimming.
I worked as a sports journalist, so it was...
Yeah, but still.
It was a good opportunity to stay connected in sport and to go around the UK and indeed to go around the world covering various sports events. It was a charming opportunity and a lovely opportunity to write about and report on many of my younger teammates who were still competing.
What do you think that is the most frequently asked question that you receive when you speak on TEDs, when you meet with people, with everything in your everyday life? What is the most frequently asked question? And from the other side, and from the other one side, the question that it's really bothering you nowadays to answer?
I think the most common question is how the lessons and the experiences that I had and learned through sport, how they apply to what I do now and how they apply to politics, how they apply to business, if at all. People ask the question with no sense they necessarily do or don't apply. And I think so much of what I do is very much about applying those lessons, looking at how we unleash talent, how we smash silos, trying to resolve that fundamental point that blights so many societies, that talent is everywhere, opportunity isn't. So really, so much of what I do is engage in that endeavour of unleashing talent, enabling, empowering people, and all of that comes from the experiences and the insights I got from sport. I've worked a lot, obviously, across Parliament in the UK, with businesses around the world, with NGOs, bringing those lessons to life, really making it relevant and pertinent to the particular situation that people are in. And I guess aligned to that, the question that I seek to answer on a daily basis and which will always motivate me to get up every single day is that absolute question: how do we enable, how do we empower individuals, communities, cities, nations to really deliver on their potential, to be fulfilled, all that untapped resource that every single city and country wastes year on year? What potential in all of us, and what connects us will always be greater than the things that seek to divide. If we can connect, collaborate, have the comfort and the confidence to go on that combined endeavour, what journeys, what adventures we can have.
Но успехот кој му бил загарантиран преку својата упорност во спортот, бил ставен под знак прашалник кога Крис имал само 14 години. Доколку подлегнал на темната страна од животот, работите ќе му беа сосема поразлични. Животот го вратил на почетокот, таму каде што многумина од својата перспектива ќе им се чини смешно да учат повторно да одат или да пишуваат можеби. Не затоа што биле во неможност од неподвижност, туку затоа што чувството за своето обкружување понатаму ќе треба да го имаат исклучиво преку допирот и слухот, наспроти очите. Тоа што многумина од луѓето него ни препознаваат како пречка во секојдневниот живот е она што на лордот Холмс му представувало особен предизвик, поттикнувајќи го да се бори и понатаму за тоа за кое сонувал и пред да го изгуби видот.
You have unexpectedly, suddenly lost your sight when you were 14 years old?
Yes.
Did your life change? I mean, it obviously changed, but I mean, your feelings towards being a sportsman, being successful as you were, so until reaching the age of 14.
It was an extraordinary moment, completely unexpected. I could never have imagined that something like that would happen to me, or I'd even know anybody. But even in those first few difficult days and weeks after losing my sight, it was the dreams I'd had since being really young which pulled me through, and they were all about education and sport, trying to get to Cambridge University, trying to see if I could represent Great Britain at sport, and it's that pulled me through, even though, as you can imagine, lots and lots of barriers were instantly put in my way, people telling me that it's not possible to do that. I couldn't go back to my mainstream school, I couldn't go back to my mainstream swimming club. People were telling me that I couldn't, rather than looking for ways in which I could. And it's only because I had the strength of those dreams to try and study, to try and swim again, and crucially that people got around me to help, my friends, family, my swim coach, my teachers. They were prepared to see that things could be different to what other people were saying. They believed, like I did, that it could be possible, and it was them that enabled me to get back to that school, to get back to my swimming club, and achieve everything that I was lucky enough to subsequent to that.
So you never had the moment of going into dark places in your mind where you just wanted to sit down and say no to life?
I had incredibly dark moments, some moments so dark that they would just black out the day. But even in that, there was just that tiny little atom of life, that sense I still had life, I still had choices, positive stuff could still happen no matter how hard it felt in those moments, that I had to carry on, I had no choice. And as soon as I would take even the smallest of positive steps, even throwing the quilt off and getting out of bed and getting into the shower, each of those which seem tiny, immaterial of themselves, those tiny steps were just teeny positive steps of, yep, action, things are possible, and it is entirely possible for me to move forward and try and see if I could achieve any of those dreams. I had no idea whether I could. I knew how to read, how to write, how to swim. I knew not how to do any of those things, not being able to see, but I had to believe that it was possible, and I had to believe that it was down to me to lead my own life and try and make education and sport a real possibility in my life going forward.
Крис Холмс е одличен на стартот. Холмс ја има ситуацијата под контрола. Холмс ќе освои 6 златни медали и ги освои. Главната приказна на овие параолимписки игри се е околу Крис Холмс, кој освои 6 златни медали, на вистина неверојатно. Тоа е вистина едно пливање од светски ранг.
would you say that your fight primarily was your own, that you had to win the battles within yourself and then to be helped by others to win the war? Have you won the war?
I think it's
with life.
I think it's a good way of considering it in terms of battle and war. I think I probably always saw it more as a mission, really, and that mission is never fully realised, but all of the struggle, all of the learning, all of the joy, all the beauty is in that struggle, is in that journey, whatever it may be. It's not about the destination, it's all about that sense of journey to try and move from one point to the other to enable change, be it in my life or someone else's life. In terms of losing my sight, there were certainly two elements to that. There was the emotional, the psychological element of having to really understand, appreciate what this meant for me, what was my identity, who was I. But if it's possible, and gosh, it's in no sense straightforward, but if it's possible for people to be helped through that emotional, that psychological dimension, then the second part of it is all about practical problems where you have to seek and find, because they exist, practical solutions. So getting about again, learning to walk again with a stick to find my way around, and then later getting a guide dog, learning to touch type to be able to do my lessons on a laptop, whereas before I'd write with a ink pen, or all those things, practical problems, practical solutions, but crucial to enable everybody to be helped through that initial emotional, psychological dimension, because if you can't move through that, then the practical problems will often seem insurmountable for people.
Do you think that, you started living again because you had to learn how to live again after 14 years. This felt like you were a toddler again that wanted to learn the world, had to learn the world in a so different manner. All those things that you never considered to be a problem previously, now they become an obstacle.
It was an extraordinary situation, an extraordinary experience to have and to move through, because the first force that I felt rushing from inside me, from the very centre of me, was this coursing flame, which I can only imagine is that sense of life. I'd lost my sight, that's a massive trauma, a massive crisis, but this force was coming from within, from the very centre of me, just feeling like it was saying, you're alive, you're alive, you're alive, you still have possibilities, you have to live. And then, absolutely, it was this sense of rediscovery, re-engaging with life, learning how to get about again, learning how to read, how to write, learning how to swim, not being able to see. I knew how to swim. I'd never had any experience of swimming without being able to see. Learning all of these things afresh. And through that, without question, getting a much broader, much more essential insight into what it is to be alive, what it is to be human. I think, without question, I learned things at 14 which people may not learn until they're 20 or 30. Some people may never learn these lessons in a lifetime.
That is why I ask you about that.
Во 2013 година Крис Холмс влегува во домот на лордовите, како Лорд Холмс од Ричмонд, и во текот на своето време се фокусира на областите како што се вработувањето, образованието и вештините, медиумите и спортот, но и дигиталните можности. Тој бил и член на издвоените комитети за дигитални вештини, социјална мобилност и финансиска исклученост. Лордот Холмс исто така е и советник за различности за државни службеници, неизвршен директор на Канал 4, но и заменик канцелар на британскиот БПП Универзитет за професии. Холмс е и дел од управната група за таленти на иднината, која што нуди продлабочено лидерство за иднината на работењето и најдобро како да се развијат можностите и вештините за луѓето и организациите во овој свет кој вртоглаво се менува. Крис е исто така и вклучен во разни кампањи кои промовираат пристапност и ја слават различноста, а последно заседава со советничката група на Канал 4 за Годината на попреченоста или скратено Јода.
What do you think that a nation, a country can unleash its potential, giving all the experiences that people like yourself are sharing with them and giving them as an advice? How a nation can unleash its potential?
The key is all about beginning everything, be it a policy, be it a regulation, be it legislation, be it a program, be it a project, whatever it is, making sure that everything is firmly rooted from the start point of inclusive design, understanding what are the needs, what are the particularities of every group, of every individual in a society, and then creating those environments, that culture, unleashing that environment so everybody can participate, everybody can write their story, everyone can fulfill their potential, be it in whatever field, legal, academic, accountancy, art, literature, music, whatever someone's dream is, enabling that everything is firmly rooted on that concept of inclusive design, and then allowing people to be free to pursue their dreams, pursue their paths, and through that fulfill their potential.
To do all that, should we provide the citizens and the people with all of the human rights that history took from them, from us, from all of you, from all of us?
It's
because you are very much connected to human rights, especially via the committee and everything.
It's a fundamental truth that we are born free, we are born with all of our rights, and then purely as an accident of where we're born, in a particular region, a particular nation, purely as a result of the accident of that, that may well determine how much we are able to fully exercise and indeed enjoy our human rights. It has to be a universal truth that people are able to fully realise and crucially enjoy those rights. Fairness, dignity, respect, three key pillars to construct a society, a community upon. Because if people are not able, and in many situations around the world are fundamentally frustrated from realising and enjoying those fundamental rights, that society is not only holding itself back, crushing, frustrating talent and opportunity, social, economic, political, cultural, but in no sense can that society in any sense be considered modern, forward-thinking, civilised, democratic.
These were the questions that I wanted to talk about, because everyone can read anything about you when it comes to all the successes and the medals and the bronze, and I told you, whatever you say to me about sports, I will believe in. But still, the last question, and very briefly because you have to go and we won't take your time. When you look back on that moment when you lost your sight, but from today's point of view, would you consider that moment and the sight losing as a bless or as a curse?
It's a great question, and one that I'm asked a lot, and indeed I ask myself. I think undoubtedly it's an interesting game of counterfactuals to consider for any of us the life that we don't lead alongside the life that we do. I believe that I'm fundamentally the same person with the same drives, the same ambition, the same values, the same essence But without question, it was an extraordinary thing to happen age 14. Without question, it was the end of childhood and the beginning of adulthood in one moment. All I can say is the journey I've had since then, the people I've been so privileged to work with, and the things I and others have been able to achieve has truly been a blessed journey so far, and I really hope it continues.
Во животот, немилите настани кои ги доживуваме на почетокот како тешки несреќи по својот живот, може да одлучиме дали ќе ни бидат клетва или благослов. Крис, својата несреќа, ја претворил во благослов, од кој што сите ние имаме што да научиме. За крај, баш домаќински, го прашав лордот Холмс како се чувствува тука во Македонија. И потоа се разделивме.
I won't be asking you how do you like Macedonia, but I will ask you how do you feel here. And before you go to your so-called, it's not TED talk, but how do you feel so far?
It's always a pleasure to come to a new country. I've never been to Macedonia before. I've never been, indeed, to the Balkans before. So it's always a pleasure and an honour to come to a new country. I like the temperature.
You do?
The temperature is good.
Oh my God.
I'd obviously rather be in shorts and a t-shirt or even my Speedos, but being an Englishman about to give a lecture, I'm in the suit and tie.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea about Speedos and beach probably it's the best one.
Yes,
yeah. But
it's
the beach is far away from here, believe me. It was a pleasure talking to you, and even though briefly, but still, I believe that your words will help other people to make an example of themselves like you did. Thank you very much.
It's a real pleasure.
It was a real pleasure, Lord Holmes.
Thank you.